Good evening, everybody. This is Steve Lookner with Right Side Broadcasting coming to you with a bit of a sad news alert right now. Three special forces and two have been killed and two have been wounded in a apparent ambush while they were on patrol in the country of Niger. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I am. I'm going to say Niger. So that's in Africa, and I'm going to give you some more details about that. But that news just coming in the last few minutes, last half hour or so, and we wanted to report on it for you. So again, 3 U.S. Special Forces killed, 2 wounded in an ambush in the country of Niger. I want to first show you where that is in Africa. So there is Niger right there. Is it? You can see in the middle of the continent there. And I want to show you a couple of the, there's not that much information on it, but I want to give you what information I've seen on it. So first, we'll start with this article from the New York Times. They say 3 U.S. Army Special Forces were killed and 2 were wounded in an ambush in Niger on Wednesday while on a routine patrol with troops they were training from the West African nation, American military officials said. We can confirm reports that a joint U.S. and Nigerian, not Nigerian, so that it's not from Nigeria, it's Nigerian patrol, came under hostile fire in southwest Niger. Lieutenant Commander Anthony Falvo, a spokesman for the U.S. Africa Command in Stuttgart, Germany, said in an email on Wednesday. A U.S. military official said that the 3 Army Green Berets were killed in the attack. It took place 120 miles north of Niamey, the capital of Niger, near the border of Mali, where militants with Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, an affiliate of Al-Qaeda, have conducted cross-border raids. So this wasn't a location where Al-Qaeda affiliates have conducted raids before. Don't know if it was them who did this, but I would think that would certainly be a suspect. 2 other Green Berets were wounded, another American military official said. Both officials spoke on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the casualties publicly. The deaths mark the first American casualties in a mission in which United States Special Forces have provided training and security assistance to the Nigerian armed forces, including support for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. So we basically have U.S. Special Forces in Niger, in Central Africa, out on a routine patrol, it said, with some Niger forces who they were helping training, and they got ambushed, and 3 of them were killed and 2 were wounded. And I have to imagine, if you have 3, so that's 5 special forces there, in addition to whatever Niger forces they were with, and of course special forces, among the best troops in the world. So if 3 of them were killed and 2 were injured, this had to be it seems like it had to be a very well set up and coordinated attack on them. Because just some kind of, amateurish attack is not going to probably result in the killing of 3 special forces and wounding 2. And we haven't heard any word on whether any Niger forces were hurt in this. But kind of worrying. It's very sad. So our thoughts and condolences go out to the families and those close to these troops, and our prayers and best wishes for the 2 wounded, for them making a full recovery. I have some other articles on this, but if you want to write in with any comments on this story, give me a shout on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. Let me know if you've heard anything new about the story or if you have any thoughts on this. Our moderator, JC, writes in, Steve, I am in mourning for my brothers in arms. De oppresso liber. I'm sure I said that wrong, JC. Salute, may God bless you all. Prayers for the families. We stand with you. JC, one of our moderators who served this country in the armed forces. And thanks to all the moderators for moderating the chat tonight. We appreciate it. But again, if you have any comments on this that you'd like to say, write to me on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. I want to show you another article here. This is from Fox News. 3 Green Berets killed, 2 wounded in Niger ambush. And Green Berets is a nickname for special forces. There's a map there where you can see Niger, as we just showed a different map before. 3 U.S. Army soldiers, special forces soldiers, were killed, and 2 others were wounded yet Wednesday in an ambush in the West African country of Niger. Let's see, same kind of details here. Joint patrol of Green Berets and Nigerian soldiers was attacked in the southwestern part of Niger near the border with Mali. Between 8 and 10 troops were part of the patrol. It's not clear how many of those were, well, at least 5 of them were American because there were 5 casualties, but it's not clear how many of those 8 to 10 troops were American and how many of them were from Niger. Officials told the Associated Press that the commandos were likely attacked by Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb. The officials added that the 2 wounded U.S. soldiers were taken to Niamey, the capital, and are in stable condition, so that's good. Africa Command says the U.S. forces are in Niger to provide training and security assistance to the Nigerian armed forces in their efforts against violent extremists. The landlocked country, a former French colony, is one of the poorest nations of the world. So this is Right Side Broadcasting. We are covering this news which just broke in the last hour, that 3 Green Berets and 2 have been killed and 2 wounded in an ambush when they were on a routine patrol with soldiers from Niger who they were training. Jesse C. says, do you know why the soldiers were in Niger? People on Facebook are asking this. Well, you might have just heard me say, maybe you wrote this before I said this, that according to the both Fox News and New York Times, the soldiers were there training Niger soldiers. This is a mission that the U.S. has to send special forces over there. I don't know if there are non-special forces soldiers there, but there are definitely special forces there training soldiers from Niger. Now, maybe they're doing other things there as well. I don't know. They could be keeping an eye on certain things or being ready for missions. I'm not sure, but at least part of why they're there is training. I also want to see if we can find anything else on this from the last few minutes. Give me one sec here, guys. Let me just see if I can find anything new. From Steve Herman. Steve Herman says, on Air Force One, the president was briefed about the attack, according to the press secretary. USA Proud ARNP writes in, Dear Lord, take these angels up into your arms. They gave the ultimate sacrifice. Yes, they died for their country, these 3 soldiers, and just a sad story. You know, we hear these every once in a while, but it's always bad. And you know, another interesting part of the story is, you know, the sources in the stories we saw were like anonymous military officials. So it's not clear when this happened and why this was released now. I'm sure it would have been released eventually. But like, for example, in the New York Times story, they quoted 2 different military officials who they said were not authorized to speak publicly. So I'm interested in why this came out now and how that all came about, but it was going to come out eventually. And you know, so, and let me say this too, as I said before, the U.S. government says that they were there on a training mission, those special forces, but perhaps they're up to other things too. Seeing as Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb is right near them and is suspected in this attack, perhaps there were some attacks being planned on the Al-Qaeda affiliate there. Don't know. A lot we don't know. Just giving you the details we have right now. Washington Examiner has an article on this. See if they have anything new. They say it was on the Niger-Mali border. Okay, we'd heard that. It's the first casualties from this mission, which we've heard this mission is a mission in which U.S. Special Forces are providing training to Nigerian Special Forces. U.S. Africa Command put out a statement Wednesday evening confirming the attack, but did not share any details on the incident. And their statement, U.S. Africa Command says, U.S. Africa Command can confirm reports that a joint U.S. and Nigerian patrol came under hostile fire in southwest Niger. We are working to confirm details on the incident and we'll have more information as soon as we can confirm facts on the ground. U.S. Special Operations Forces have maintained a small presence in Niger to assist local troops to combat the Islamic State-affiliated Boko Haram and a branch of Al-Qaeda. U.S. forces are in Niger to provide training and security assistance to the Nigerian armed forces, including support for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance efforts in their efforts to target violent extremist organizations in the region, the U.S. Africa Command said. One aspect of that is training, advising, and assisting the Nigerians in order to increase their ability to bring stability and security to their people. Al-Qaeda still exists near the Mali-Niger border, even though the French have spearheaded a counterterrorism effort, Operation Barkhane in 2014. This operation includes thousands of French troops, along with forces from Germany, Mali, Niger, and other countries. The U.S. is currently building a new drone base in Niger to reinforce counterterrorism measures. So we are reporting on the story that just came out that 3 U.S. Special Forces are killed and 2 wounded in an ambush in Niger. We have seen that a branch of Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb is suspected as suspects in this attack, but don't know for sure. Not a lot of information on it right now. If you have any comments, write to me on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. And I'm just looking around for some more information here. Yeah, right now, just very limited details. Let me try one more thing here. Okay, New York Post has an article. I don't know if they have anything new that we haven't heard. I'm just going to skim through it. Yeah, this looks like a lot of the exact same details. Reuters has an article. Very short, nothing new there. So I assume at some point we'll get more details about this, especially because it is now public. I wonder if there will be some kind of briefing tonight, or if not, I'm guessing tomorrow, maybe in the, well, if there's a White House press briefing it would be asked about, maybe a State Department briefing would be asked about, but maybe we'll get some kind of statement. I'm going to actually look up, did the U.S. Africa, do they have a Twitter page, the U.S. Africa Command? Yes, they do. Oh, they have a Twitter page. So let me go to their Twitter page and show you their update. They did post an update about this. You're watching Right Side Broadcasting. To know when we come on the air with these videos, subscribe to us on YouTube and click the notifications bell. Also, you can follow us on Facebook at Right Side Broadcasting, and you can you can watch us on Facebook at Right Side Broadcasting, and you can follow us on Twitter at RSB Network. So here is the press release from U.S. AFRICOM, U.S. Africa Command on Twitter. It says U.S. Africa Command can confirm reports that a joint U.S. and Nigerian patrol came under hostile fire in southwest Niger. We are working to confirm details on the incident, and we'll have more information as soon as we can confirm facts on the ground. They don't even talk about the deaths and the wounded in this. And we saw that quote before. So they're not really confirming much. But according to the New York Times, 2 military officials confirmed the death and the wounded. The dead and the wounded. Yeah, nothing even new on the New York Times article either. If you have comments while we're on the air, anything you want to add about this or hear any new news, give me a shout on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. We are covering this news that just broke a little while ago that 3 U.S. Special Forces troops were killed and 2 were wounded in a ambush in the central, well, I guess it's West African, but it's in Western/Central Africa. There it is. Niger. It was an ambush in Niger as they were patrolling with Niger soldiers. They are there on a mission to train Niger soldiers. They were doing a routine patrol of 8 to 10 soldiers were out, and they got ambushed near the country of Mali. The suspected attackers, it's not been confirmed, the suspected attackers are people from Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb who supposedly often cross the border in Mali to do cross-border attacks. And just trying to get you a little more information here. The information at this point is not that plentiful. Patriot of Truth says, we need details. Well, I'm guessing we might get some more eventually, but even right now, I'm just looking all over the place and not seeing much more. Oh, there's a little more. New York Times updated their story. Okay, so I think there's some more details here. So let's just go over this. We have I'm going to skim through. I'm not going to read all of it because a lot of it we've read over, but 3 killed, 2 wounded. They were on a routine patrol with troops they were training from Niger. Lieutenant Commander Anthony Falvo confirmed that they came under fire. He didn't confirm the number of deaths and wounded. Oh, by the way, Ron Miller just made a donation. Thank you, Ron. Ron says, thank you, Lynn Jean and JC, for the freedom I am enjoying in my living room right now. I love you both. And Lynn Jean, did you serve too? I don't know if I knew this, Lynn Jean. So let me know, confirm that. I might have known it and forgot. But thank you, Ron, so much. For your donation. We are viewer supported, so we really appreciate the donations because donations are what keeps us on the air. So thank you, Ron. If you want to donate, you can go to the YouTube chat room. At the bottom of the chat, there's a $ sign. You can click on that or go to rsbn.tv/donate. But so to continue with this, the attack took place 120 miles north of Niamey, the capital, near the border with Mali, where militants with Al-Qaeda and the Islamic Maghreb, an affiliate of Al-Qaeda, have conducted cross-border raids. This is the first we've seen of this. So 2 other Green Berets were wounded, but we haven't seen this before. Niger's troops were also believed to have suffered casualties, but details were not immediately known. So we hadn't heard before that the troops from Niger also had suffered casualties. We're hearing that now. First American casualties on this mission to train the Niger soldiers. Here's a new information. The military official who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss continuing military operations said American forces were rushing to the scene of the ambush, presumably to evacuate American and Nigerian casualties and possibly to hunt down the attackers. So that's new news that that American forces are rushing to the scene. See if there's any new information in here. President Trump was briefed on the deaths of the Green Berets, said Sarah Huckabee Sanders. In his first 8 months in office, Mr. Trump's top military officials have shown few signs they want to back away from President Barack Obama's strategy to train, equip, and otherwise support indigenous armies and security forces to fight their own wars, instead of deploying large American forces to far-flung hotspots, including the Sahel, a vast area on the southern flank of the Sahara that stretches from Senegal to Sudan. And that is what is happening in Niger, a desperately poor, landlocked country, twice the size of California, that is struggling, even with assistance from the United States and France, to stem a flow of insurgents across Niger's lightly guarded borders with Mali, Nigeria, and Libya. But unlike recent commando raids in Somalia or Reaper drone strikes in Libya, the deadly ambush on Wednesday in a remote desert area came during what American military officials said was a routine training mission, not a combat operation, and yet the casualties suffered by the American and Nigerian forces underscore the inherent risks of operating in a potentially hostile environment. So this was not a combat. This was not initially a combat incident. It was not active military attack by the American forces and their allies. It was just a training mission, and they got ambushed on it. JC made a donation, and JC said, "In honor of my brothers and sisters in arms and the families who now must live in never-ending pain, freedom isn't free. 21 gun salute, de oppresso liber." Thank you for the donation, JC. Thank you for your service as well. Yeah, and our thoughts again go out to our condolences to the families of these soldiers who have given their lives for this country, and our hope with our thoughts are with the families of those of the casualties, the injured, and the killed. And also, we've heard that the 2 injured are in stable conditions, so that's good news. We hope they have a speedy recovery. Just continuing here to see if there's new information. Christine Bestjen made a donation, by the way. Thank you, Christine. Gold Star mom, Christine Bestjen. She said, "Could we have a moment of silence to honor our fallen heroes?" That's a great idea, Christine. And for the new Gold Star families, this Gold Star mother salutes our heroes and their families. God bless the wounded and heal them. Yes, Christine, it's a great idea. We're going to have a moment of silence right now. So I'll shut up for a few seconds while we have a moment of silence for these soldiers who just died serving the country tonight. So we'll do that now, and we'll continue with the news in a moment. Thank you, Christine. That was a very good idea. So we have a quote here. "These militants have proven remarkably resilient, exploiting local and/or ethnic grievances to embed themselves into communities, as well as political borders and differences to escape capture," said J. Peter Pham, a vice president of the Atlantic Council's Africa Center in Washington. "It was no accident that this attack took place near Niger's border with Mali, an area that has seen numerous incidents in recent years." In May, a member of the Navy SEALs was killed, and 2 other American service members were wounded in a raid in Somalia, the first American combat fatality there since 1993. The 1993 Black Hawk Down battle. Some other new information in this article that just came in. The government of President, I'm not going to pronounce this right, Mahamadou Issoufou of Niger has proved to be a stalwart partner in the United States counterterrorism campaign in the Sahel. About a dozen Army Special Forces conduct, train, and advise missions at any given time in the country, and just under 100 American military personnel help operate drone operations for the country. Okay, that's useful. So it says that it seems to be saying here that at any given time there are about 12 Special Army Forces training the Niger soldiers, and just under 100 military personnel help operate drone operations from the country. And we read something about this before. It says, since 2013, unarmed American drones have soared skyward from a secluded military airfield in Niamey, Niger, starting surveillance missions of 10 hours or more to track fighters associated with Al-Qaeda and other militants in Mali. So these drones, apparently we have a drone base in Niger. Over the years, MQ-9 Reapers that have been based there stream live video and data from other sensors to American analysts working with French commanders who say the aerial intelligence has been critical to their success in driving jihadists from a vast desert refuge in northern Mali. The United States is building a well, actually, I don't know if we have a base yet. We're building one there. The United States is building a $50 million drone base in Agadez, Niger. When completed next year, it will allow Reaper surveillance drones to fly from hundreds of miles closer to southern Libya to monitor Islamic State insurgents flowing south and other extremists flowing north from the Sahel region. So Niger is an important partner, apparently, for the United States. We not only do we train their soldiers, but they host a lot of our drones, and we're building a $50 million drone base there. Hey, give me 1 sec, guys. I just want to grab my water. Thank you. So, those are some of the details about this attack, which killed 3 Special Forces troops from the U.S. and injured 2. Supposedly injured some Niger soldiers too, who were being trained by the U.S. forces. We don't know the details on that. If you have any comments on this while we're still on the air you'd like to say and have me read on the air, you can write to me on Twitter at @Lookner, or that's the best way to reach me. You can also email me, but Twitter is the best way to reach me. Mark Henapple just gave a donation of 1946 and said, in 1946, a child was born to save the USA. I know his heart is good. Thank you, Mark, for the donation. Your donations are what let us come on the air to do this coverage for you. I don't know if the mainstream media is covering this now. I just know I was in my car on the way home when I first heard about this, and I turned on my satellite radio to check the different news stations to hear some coverage of this, and none of them were covering it. So we did want to come on and give coverage of this. We thought it was an important story to give coverage of. But it's your donations that allow us to stay on the air. So thank you for the donations. If you do want to donate, you can go to the YouTube chat on any of our broadcasts and click on the $ at the bottom of the YouTube chat, or go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. Also, don't forget to, if you want to know when we're coming on the air with these breaking news updates, subscribe to us on YouTube and click on the notifications bell. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Right Side Broadcasting, on Twitter at RSB Network. I am on Twitter at @Lookner, and I post about breaking news a lot. So let me just do one last check here and see if I can find you any more details on this. Patriot of Truth writes in, God bless our great veteran patriots. Not seeing much new on this, doing some different checks. So, and while we're on the air, guys, I was checking some news sources. And this is a little off topic, but I want to let you know, I just saw this posted by Breaking 911. They say the Vegas sheriff says he has evidence that the concert shooter planned to survive the attack and escape, declines to elaborate. So I'm not really sure what that means. It's a little hard to imagine he planned to survive and escape that attack. I don't know how that would work. Let's see here. So I'll be on the lookout for more details on that stuff. I will post more on my Twitter if I hear anything. Then I also saw this, and I'm not sure. If this quote is out of context. It says, "Do you think he did this on his own? He had to have some help at some point." Now, I don't know what context this quote is from. In context, he might have meant, well, he had to get help, buying the guns or something. I don't know. So having not heard the context of this quote, I'm not going to read too much into it at the moment. I don't like seeing quotes taken out of context. So is this happening now? Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting some information here now, so I just want to give it to you while we're on the air. So this just came out from CNN Breaking News. It says Stephen Paddock rented a room near a Las Vegas festival that took place a week before the massacre. So there was this question whether he was planning on doing it at an earlier festival. Sorry, and I know we're kind of switching topics for a moment, but this just came out, so I want to give you an update on it. Does it say anything about it in here? That doesn't give us any information on that quote. So I will keep following this tonight and posting any updates I get on my Twitter. And if there's anything really big, we'll come on the air. Let's see here. Then another thing that just came out.
Intense questioning from investigators.
Hey, was that from?
Their hope that she may.
This just came out. Las Vegas shooter found girlfriend cheap plane ticket to Philippines, wired her money to buy a house. I have to catch up on all of this stuff. A lot of stuff coming out while we're on the air. Yeah, it says here in this Yahoo article, it says Danley added, his girlfriend added that 2 weeks ago, Paddock told her he found a cheap plane ticket for her to visit her family in the Philippines and had wired her money to purchase a house while she was there. She said she became concerned at that point, thinking he wanted to break up with her. She said she wasn't aware he was planning violence. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to wrap up this stream for now. Sorry, I know that was a little off topic. I just wanted to get you that information that it was just coming out when I had just seen it. So sorry to interrupt the stream, but to get back to our main story and to recap what happened, 3 U.S. Special Forces were killed and 2 were wounded when they were on a patrol. They were on a routine training. They were doing training, apparently. And they were training and they were walking around with some Niger soldiers who they are helping train there. They're on a mission to train the Niger soldiers. And they were ambushed while going around on training. I don't know what the training exercise was particularly. I don't know if it was like a random walk around or they were actually doing some more involved exercise. But while training, they were attacked. They were ambushed. And 3 U.S. Special Forces were killed, 2 were injured. There were 8 to 10 soldiers total, including both American and Niger soldiers in that group. Reportedly, Niger soldiers suffered some casualties. We don't know the details on that. And what else did we find out? We saw that it was near. We heard that it was near the Mali border, and Al-Qaeda of the Islamic Maghreb is suspected. That's a group that has conducted cross-border raids from Mali before. President Trump has been briefed on this aboard Air Force One. That's according to Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And that's what we know right now. Not many more details that we saw about this. But that's gonna so that's it for now. Again, as we said before, really, our condolences go out to the soldiers' families, and it's so sad and to see that those soldiers, they really paid the ultimate price serving their country. And our thoughts are with also the soldiers who were injured. We heard the 2 soldiers injured. The 2 U.S. soldiers are in stable condition, which is encouraging. So our thoughts with them for a speedy recovery. And we will, if there's big news, as usual, we will always come on the air and cover it. So subscribe to us on YouTube and click the notifications bell if you want to know when we're coming on the air. Also, you can follow us at Facebook at Right Side Broadcasting. On Twitter, we are at RSB Network. And I am on Twitter at Lookner. And if I hear like big news tonight about whatever, I'll also tweet about it. I cover a lot of breaking news on my Twitter feed. And we'll also keep an eye on the details about the Vegas shooting and let you know if we hear anything big about that. But for now, thank you all of you thank you to the moderators, JC, Guinevere, Ron, and whoever else was in there, Lynn Jean. I think Real Frank might have been there before. I'm not sure. Yes. And thank you those very much for the donations. The donations allow us to cover the news for you, so we really appreciate the donations. If you do want to donate, you can always donate in the YouTube chat room by clicking the $sign at the bottom of the YouTube chat, or going to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. We are viewer supported, so the donations are what keeps us on the air. So we do appreciate them a lot. And I think that's going to wrap it up right now. So have a good evening, everybody. And we're sorry to hear this sad news about these soldiers. And but thank you for joining us. And again, if there's any other big news tonight, we will definitely come back on the air, and as we will do the rest of the week. But for now, I am Steve Lookner. This has been Right Side Broadcasting. I want to just say, some people are saying thanks in the chat room. Jason Thornton, you're welcome. Jabbery, and all the moderators, Christine, and everybody else there in the chat room. So thank you for joining us. Our thoughts go out to everybody affected by this, and all of the soldiers who were killed, and the families of the soldiers who were killed and who were injured. And that's all the details we have for now. So for now, I am Steve Lookner. This is Right Side Broadcasting. Have a good evening, and we will see you soon with more news updates.